When do you become yourself? The question is trickier than it sounds. At birth, we are presented with the raw materials of identity. But these are almost random. They are winnings from a game of genetic roulette, just waiting to be cashed out. What comes next is a long trek down the wind tunnel of childhood, the buffeting impacts of family and society and religion, the sculpting of a generic human being into an individual soul, the square peg that will suddenly fit into no hole but its own. This is a gradual process, to be sure. It may take years or even decades before the beauty and strangeness of a personality begin to shine through the chrysalis of the ordinary. You may need to surrender to everybody else's notion of yourself, a kind of informal, spirit-squashing referendum before you can figure out who you are. That was certainly the case with Ralph Waldo Emerson. The expectation from the moment he was born in 1803 was that he would become a minister. It was more or less the family business. The Emersons, as well as the Bulkley and Bliss and Moody clans, all of them related by marriage, had supplied the pulpits of New England for 7 generations. Waldo, as he was usually called, had an impressive pantheon, peering over his shoulder, many of them vigorous participants in the theological disputes of the era. There was, for example, the towering figure of Peter Bulkley, the founder of Concord and a major architect of Puritan society, who set down the contractual relationship between God and man in The Gospel Covenant, 1646. There was Samuel Moody, who gave away his wife's only pair of shoes to a beggar and loudly upbraided any parishioner who dared to sneak out of church early. "Come back, you graceless sinner! Come back!" There was Daniel Bliss, who invited the volcanic British evangelist George Whitefield to speak from his Concord pulpit in 1741. Bliss was described as a flame of fire, and it's fair to say that the Great Awakening, which saw Whitefield preaching to enraptured crowds with a sobbing Jonathan Edwards at his feet, did not favor tepid personalities. In this sense, Waldo might easily be viewed as a culmination, an heirloom product bred from the finest cultivar in the New World.